Hi guys, welcome back to the Card In, and thank you for stopping by our YouTube channel again. Today I've got a new video for you, and it's going to be from the Deckin Around podcast. So for those of you who don't know who Deckin Around are, it's a podcast run by Tyler and Steve. So Tyler, you might recognise him as Collector Deck on Instagram, and Steve, who is Nothing Only Cards on Instagram, he is the founder or co-founder of Wounded Corner. So maybe about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I went onto their podcast. I think I was their fourth guest, and we talked about all things to do with the card in, cards, Kickstarter playing cards, and just the playing card industry, playing cards on the whole. It was really good. I'm going to chop out a few clips for you, show you some of the best bits, I guess. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let me know what you think in the comment section. So before we go into the podcast, I just want to let you know that next week we are bringing in the new pink cherries, along with the older black, Tahoe blue, Renault red. We're bringing in a few more cherries, the older editions. We're bringing in Ultra by Thomas Piston / Gemini. We are bringing in Carvers by OPC. We might be bringing in a couple of Kings of Wild decks. And that's about it for now. So we're going to have some more new products. So it looks really good. So without talking anymore, over to the podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckin Around. My name's Tyler.
I am Steve.
And make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel here. Also click the bell so you get notifications for upcoming episodes. We are super excited for today's episode. We have James from the Card In, which is a UK-based shop. They are based out of London. He supplies most of the EU and other parts, but we'll let James tell you more about that. So everybody, welcome James. Hey James, how you doing?
Hi guys. Yeah, doing
What
great.
up?
How are you?
Thanks so much for coming on to the show tonight. We're super excited about having you on. I know we've been talking back and forth for the whole week, kind of getting ready for the show and everything, and I think all the discussions we've had, we've all been kind of amping ourselves up for this. It's really cool.
Yeah. The thing is I'm so excited about is because I do a little bit of YouTube videos myself, but I hate just talking to a camera. Just me talking to a camera. So it's great where I can talk about cards and the card in and anything to do with cardistry or magic with people. It feels a bit more natural, and I feel like I'll be able to sort of express myself a bit more naturally as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Nice, man. Yeah, I completely get that. I know Steve and I, we kind of started out with like the Instagram lives and migrated to here. So yeah, having the community involvement, but also having people you can chat with live is really nice. It's a whole different medium, but it's cool. So why don't we kick it off with some questions for you tonight that we've had from people submitted over the course of the week. I think one of the good ones to kind of roll right into your role as the owner of the Card In is, what interested you in opening the Card In the first place?
So this started in about towards the end of 2018. I came across an entrepreneur called Gary Vaynerchuk, who is massively inspirational to me. And you know, I was in a bit of a weird phase of leaving uni. Well, actually, I dropped out the master's degree. I kind of fell out of my big passion at the time, which was coaching football. And I was just kind of like, what am I going to do with myself? And Gary Vaynerchuk had already sort of inspired me. And he spoke about, if you don't know what to do with yourself, look at what you love doing, which at the time was magic and just starting to collect cards. And, you know, he was just talking about trying to get some sort of income from your passions. And he basically just started speaking about flipping cards. So buy some stuff, sell it for a little bit more. So I just naturally kind of doing it on eBay. And after a while, realizing how there is no way really to make money from cards on eBay, I did an Instagram post one day, or I brought like 3 bricks of Nox, and I said a joke about, oh, I should start a shop. I had 3 bricks, and I was like, whoa, there's so many cards, and it was getting towards the end of 2018, and once I said that, and the more I thought about it, it just sort of started to make sense. And I looked into Shopify, and I looked at how eBay, you're going to lose 10 to 15% of your transaction, and then Shopify was a lot less. And I just thought, and you know, it just made more and more sense to do it. It was a new year starting in 2019, and I just thought, what have I got to lose? So I went for it.
Very cool.
Nice. Yeah. That's a cool story. Now, I noticed. I mean, I relatively new to the game myself, and also the shop side of it. I just noticed that you did like a relaunch of some sort. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so on February the 12th, which was our 1 year anniversary, I decided to. I'd always wanted a new website anyway, but I wanted to do something kind of big. It was an anniversary, and I wanted a better website, but I also wanted to do something that was going to differentiate the card in from other brands in the UK, and just give us our own unique selling point. Because obviously there's lots of stores in the UK that sell cards. How am I any different?
Right.
I did a Q&A in January on YouTube, and a friend of mine, he did ask me, he said, what makes the card in different? And I had to be honest and say in 2019, there wasn't much different. There wasn't much of a difference if you compared the card in to your other stores. I mean, we all sell cards, we all sell very similar things. So I thought, how can I do something different? And I just started to notice on Instagram, lots of videos coming in of people literally unboxing, like these boxes, these packages come in, they start unboxing it with the thank you notes, and very, very well wrapped with the bubble wrap. Even the fact of it coming in a box, because I used to send everything in a bag, like a jiffy bag.
Right.
Stickers, and I just started seeing all these things, and I started seeing how people reacted to it, how it made people happy. They were taking time to post videos about it, and I just decided to create my own version. And it was something I paid a little bit of attention to, and the more I paid attention to it, and as the days gone on, every single day I had sort of like a different idea, and it just sort of snowballed into this bigger and bigger and bigger idea. And then I created, I basically did a relaunch, so we have new packaging, new website, we brought in some new products, and we did a bunch of collaborations as well. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. I worked with some fantastic people, photographers, cardists, magicians, and yeah, very happy with it. Very, very happy.
Yeah, and kind of looking into
that's-
everything. I caught your Daniel Madison video, which was really awesome.
Oh, that's a story in itself as well. Incredible. He's right now. I spoke about Gary Vaynerchuk being an influence to me, but I'd say my biggest influence today is Daniel Madison. If there's one person I could meet today, it would be him, for various reasons. So for him to he asked me, could he create the video for me? And this was the day after I launched my YouTube channel.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he came to me, and I was just like, wow, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
So that was amazing, absolutely amazing.
I think if he asked you, I mean, obviously you're doing something right. What you're doing is awesome. I think it looks great. It adds definitely a new dimension to the card opening experience, and if Daniel Madison asks you if he could do a video, the amount of time and creativity he puts into all his stuff is just ridiculous, and you should definitely know you're doing something right if he wanted to do a video of your.
Yeah, it was very encouraging, really encouraging for me, because things were extremely slow for me running up until maybe October was a little bit of a turning point, and then January and February like a very big turning point. So it was, and there's times when it was very slow. You always think to yourself, is it worth doing? It's when the return is not visibly there. But then something like that happens, and it's like, well, even if there's not returns happening, things like that happen, and it reminds you that like it is all worth it. You know what I mean? Even if the card in shut tomorrow, that happened.
For sure.
Before that, one of my customers, he actually got me a deck signed by Daniel Madison a few months before that.
Nice.
And I remember even that last summer, I remember thinking, if the card in shut tomorrow, that happened. And it just makes it all worth it, even if it's shut tomorrow,
Which I definitely see a lot of the Gary V coming through with what you're saying with the branding yourself, but also the experience and everything, which I think is awesome. I'm also a big fan of Gary V, so like, as you're kind of telling through these stories, I can see how the inspiration comes through there, which is exciting. So
Yeah, I think I caught you smile a little
Yeah.
bit when I mentioned his name.
Well, so I
But that's great, yeah, Gary.
so I
He's
actually
not for everyone.
I live about like
but
5 minutes down the road from where he grew up. That's why like when I stumbled across him and and he
Wow.
started talking about where he grew up and everything, I'm like, this all sounds familiar. And then he's talking about it, I'm like, all right, so he basically went to like the same high school that I went to, obviously, several years before, but I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's great. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's really good, nice bit of trivia as well. If you introduce yourself to someone.
oh, without a doubt. Yeah, and
People be like, "Who's Gary V?"
you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of
Depends
people
on your crowd,
yeah.
doesn't it? Depends on your crowd.
Yeah, a lot of people still don't know
Yeah,
who he
for
is, but
sure.
his name's getting a lot bigger out there. And I think, a lot of the entrepreneurial side of things, people are really starting to know who he is and know what it means to brand yourself. It's not about necessarily what your
Yeah.
company does, but who you are behind it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And it's cool, like doing what you did is coming out with a rebrand and doing it big time. I think that's really cool and devoting so much time into it in love. I think that makes all the difference in the world if there's two shops, because obviously we know there's a ton of shops that people can purchase their cards from, and they're generally around the same price. Some are less than others, but what it comes down to is, people are going to go to the people that more are in line with that, their beliefs or their views, and yeah. So that's really cool that you have your following, and it's just going to grow just because of what you're doing.
Yeah, hopefully. And then one of the biggest takeaways from Gary, he talks about just providing value, being patient. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. Like the Deckin Unboxing Experience, like this is just the start. It's like a V1 in essence. So it's just as time goes on, it's just looking at more ways and different ways to make it even better and provide values in different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. And then the second part about my own deck. Yes. Last year, like this time last year, I was like, when I started my shop, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna create my own deck, and we're gonna do it now. And again, it's kind of like the card and unboxing experience. The idea, I had this concept, and the ideas just kept feeding off of that. And if there's any strength I have, it's ideas. I lack in a lot of areas, but ideas they come very easily to me. Like creative things. So I'm actually very passionate about this concept I have in mind. But like I had this friend and we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and we basically realized we're not qualified to both do this right now. So we put it on the hold. And as I've been in the industry more and more, I've very quickly realized you need to get like a professional in, and it's going to take a long time, and it has to be really good before you put it out there. Like there's no need to rush it. And I'd actually I want to make the card in as sustainable as possible before I do my own releases. But I definitely plan to do one. I have a really nice concept in mind that I'd like to help bring to life, get the right people on board. But I'm in no rush at all to get that started. So, I mean, it would if it happens, it's not gonna be seen for a good 2 years minimum, because I've just got a lot of other things that I want to build up, and then when I start that process, it's gonna take a long time.
It's good though, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's good to be able to
Yeah,
have the
it
ideas and know that you gotta step back and prioritize what's the most important to make things sustainable. Obviously, you don't want the card in to slip because you're focusing on the deck. You don't want the deck to not be exactly what you're imagining because you're focusing on the card in.
Yeah.
You want those both to work and have that synergy, which is important.
Of course. And I think like the longer, if for someone like me who has had a shop for a year, and similar to yourself with Wounded Corner, like the longer you build this community, when you release your own thing, you have a more established community, you have a larger community, so it's only going to help if you do it like a year later. You know what I mean?
He wanted to know, what two animals would you choose to crossbreed for hilarious offspring?
I'd probably have to pick some crazy opposites if we're gonna do something strange. So I would go with a giraffe and a tortoise.
Oh, that'd be uncomfortable.
I feel like that would be unstoppable,
strange.
though. It would be like tall and armored.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah, but
if that
would
was
it
the
get-
meat in
would
the
it-
middle, I don't know how that would turn out, but
would it be slow or
Yeah.
fast?
it would give. Who asked the question? Was it Steve?
No, so that was
Say
Kyle. Kyle designed the
Kyle,
Hino
yeah,
deck,
Kyle.
Diesel
It'll
Illusion.
give Kyle something to think about. It gives Kyle something to think about.
I'm gonna tell you, if that thing could run fast, it would be horrifying. So I hope it's slow.
Yeah.
I agree.
Kyle is always
There's,
good for some fun questions too.
Yeah, I got one from him, but I'm gonna ignore it this time since you just asked one.
Sorry, Kyle.
There's actually
I want to support you because you didn't put any effort into building out more, and that's key to success on those things.
Yeah, I just think storytelling and just telling people about I think when you start out on social media, when you're on 1 follower, you're on 250 followers, it can feel like and I still do this now. I'm on about 1,600 on the Insta,
Nice.
and sometimes I put out a Q&A or I put out a poll saying, "What would you like to see next from the card in?" But what I notice is people don't actually respond to that too much. And I had this good thought, Chris Ramsey, obviously he's one of in Magic is probably the number 1 on YouTube in terms of following, or one of the number ones. But
Yeah, he's up there for sure.
number one, I wouldn't call him professional magician.
But YouTube magician,
I
yeah.
mean professional to me is Shin Lim and people like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's definitely the top for sure.
But he just put out content and he was just doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and obviously he would have probably asked a little bit of feedback along the way. But I think it's just important to just kind of people are, my 1,600 followers are not all desperately waiting at home with suggestions for me to do next, because they only know me from just what they're interpreting, right? So we all have something to share, and that you just don't know who could be interested by it.
Yeah.
And it's to say, with Gary V, sometimes Gary V, he even says it sometimes when you say something for the 5th time, it really hits home with someone, and the 4 times before it didn't.
Yeah.
So it's things like storytelling and just talking about not just yourself, but what you're doing or what you believe in. It's just, like I said, it's a great time to be alive for cards, but it's a great time to be alive with the social media thing, because social media gets a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
But if you're following the right people, it can be a very inspiring place.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree. It's all about following the right people. And I have a good question. If you could list 3 people, and we could add them in the comments below, for people to see after the show, give us 3 names that you recommend following. And it doesn't have to be card related. It can be whatever you want.
Okay.
And it
would
doesn't have to be collect the deck, nothing only cards, or Deckin Around.
Cool. I would say the one we mentioned earlier. I'd say Gary V. So his username is Gary and then V. So VEE. And the reason why I say that is because he is an entrepreneur, but his content isn't always focused on entrepreneurship. It's a lot of it is focused on just whatever he's learned and taken from his life. He just talks about it a lot. He talks a lot about being happy. He talks a lot about self-awareness. He just gives great advice. So Gary V, definitely. Someone. The last 2, they're going to be people I've spoken to a lot of cool people in the year or so I've been doing this. But the ones that are on the top of my head recently, some of the people I worked with, Kia Gomez. He helped me do some really cool stuff for the card in. He took some pictures, some videos, did a couple YouTube videos.
Nice.
Released a slow hands deck recently. I think he's a great guy. Creates really cool content as well. So I think his username is Kia.Gomez.magic. And thirdly is a photographer I recently worked with called Mad About Cards. So I believe his name is Jacek, if I'm pronouncing that right. So Mad About Cards. His photography is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
He did the photography for the Cardin Unboxing Experience, and obviously, like when you send out if you just write a description of what you'd like to a photographer or to anyone about, hi, I'd like this. There's always that sort of anxiety about, even if they're great, you just think, will it be exactly the way I want it to? When he took the photos for the Cardin Unboxing Experience, he made it look better than I could have imagined. Like, the pictures look better than what it actually is. It's just great. I just looked at it and I was in love with it, and I just couldn't wait to have this on my website. So yeah, Gary V, Kia Gomez, and Mad About Cards. There's so many more, but yeah, those are three.
I know you can never like include everybody, but those are three really good ones. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
We'll definitely add those into the comments too for anyone who wants to check out their social media. I agree. I mean, I think Mad About Cards his photos are phenomenal, and he's based out of Poland, I think, right?
Yeah, Poland.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually have a little bit of Polish background. Like, my grandparents are Polish.
Nice.
So when he told me he was from Poland, it was like, that's kind of interesting.
So, James, anything you want to say to the audience while we're here?
Just thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. Like I said earlier with like the social media, like I use my social media to chat to people. You know what I mean? Like we are the store. We sell cars. We want to sell cars to sustain ourselves, but at the same time, like I post memes. My DMs, I reply to my DMs as many as I can in the comments. So anyone on here that wants to learn a little bit more about the Cardin or like connect with me about something, feel free just to follow the Cardin, send me a DM message. Obviously check us out if you're interested in getting a cool or unique unboxing experience.
Which
for sure.
Definitely check out the.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to put in an order one of these days. That'd be kind of funny.
Hey,
Deckin Around coming through there.
We can do some live simultaneous unboxings. How's that?
We gotta.
That'd be really cool.
We can definitely make that happen.
Maybe we'll buy. We'll do an order and we'll give it away. But we'll do the unboxing though, so we'll get to.
We'll get the experience. Yeah, I think that's fair. People enjoy a free deck after it's been opened. So. Well, James, thank you so much for being on tonight. We really we had a blast talking to you about cards, and even over the past couple days, kind of getting to know each other and working through all the fun technical stuff here. So it's been a pleasure. We're really excited to see where the Cardin's going to go, and definitely recommend everyone follow the Cardin on Instagram and all of your social media channels. So I think everything should be in the description below. So feel free to check out James's Instagram. I might have thrown a Twitter in there, and the YouTube channel. We're also going to throw up some comments on there for Gary V, Kira Gomez, and Mad About Cards, so you guys can check those out. And before we wrap here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you get notifications for our next episodes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
James,
thanks for having me. Like I was so excited for it and had a great time. So
thanks everyone. Have a nice one.
Just want to say thank you to Tyler and Steve for letting me on the Deckin Around podcast. It was great fun, and I'd love to be involved in more podcasts in the future. If you guys want to check out the Deckin Around podcast, the links will all be down below. So check it out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you like what you're seeing. And if you haven't already, check us out on Instagram, because that's where we're the most active. It's where we're chatting to people every single day in our comments and our DMs, and we're posting all the time. So I hope to see you there, and until the next time, catch you guys later.